guys, Tomboy601, and there's not been a lot of great news for World of Warships Legends, has there? Like, lately. Specifically, like, this week or the last 2 weeks. Today we're gonna go over a lot of bad news that came out, and then maybe one little positive thing, and you're probably gonna hear me criticize Wargaming a little, try to justify some things, and just overall go over my thoughts. The first one is the one thing I don't think everyone else is freaking out about, but personally it's been the thing that I've been like hotly anticipating for 487 days. And that's well, I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the boat we are currently playing in, the event that's currently going on. What do the two things have in common? Well, if you don't know, the USS Kidd, famous for flying the Jolly Roger, and well, we currently found out. Well, just roll the clip.
And now a question that was commonly asked, especially by our Kidd players, because the USS Kidd used to run with the Jolly Roger flag, right?
Yep.
Like they had it on the ship.
Still do.
It still does.
The modern one does.
Yeah, the modern ones. Is there any way for us to get a Jolly Roger flag?
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yes.
It will come. Yeah.
Ash.
We will not be getting a Jolly Roger flag. That is essentially Jolly Roger. The Jolly Roger flag is not allowed in some regions, so we are not, and we don't have the ability to show it in some regions and don't show it in others. That's just not tech that we have, so we're not going to bring Jolly Roger.
Yeah, yeah. So at the end there, you saw kind of the justification from Blip being that, you know, Jolly Roger can't be released in all areas, right? It's not allowed to, because of regulatory reasons in some areas. And I'm kind of disappointed about this because, like, I feel like they should have been on top of that before they announced it. Personally, like, I understand a little bit, just a weird random tangent here. China is one of those regions that don't allow skulls and crossbones. It's such a thing that, like, Disney, when they decided to open up Shanghai Disneyland, Shanghai Disney, they had to redesign one of, like, the core attractions because of this ban. If you're familiar with the Disney parks, there's a little attraction called the Haunted Mansion. You might have heard of it. You might have ridden it if you vacationed on either coast and gone to the parks. Kind of deals with ghosts and spookies, and there's some skeletons all around. Well, actually, that's a very culturally taboo and kind of not allowed by the Chinese government, to my understanding. So Disney had to remake a ride in a similar feel to it, but without all the spookies, and we ended up getting a ride that's called Mystic Manor. And if you're a theme park person, you can go ahead and dive into the history of that. It's an interesting side take on the same themes, but not quite the same exact stuff. So that's kind of how I know that this is a thing. And when they first announced it, I was like kind of surprised. I was like, oh, I guess they're getting away with it. They won't need to worry about places like China. But it turns out they did need to worry about places like China, and because of that, we got told we were going to get the Jolly Roger, and sadly, we aren't. And yeah, I'll be honest. That's my biggest piece of news from all of this that has me the most bummed. So that's one piece. Let's dive in to the other stuff. So 2 other things have been delayed: training rooms and detailed stats. So training rooms hit some, I guess, pretty hard development time, and they were not happy with the quality. And I'll go ahead and read the thing. Training rooms, this one has been the hardest hit. The hardest, meaning that we've neared completion of the feature, but it has failed multiple quality passes. As a result, we're not currently willing to present the product we've created. This doesn't happen too often, but it has happened in this instance. unfortunately, we're currently working on recreating the feature. Primarily the code, and the tentative time frame for the training rooms is now late Q1, early Q2 of 2023. I think the crazy thing is they're going back to code on it. So there must be some massive changes that need to go on in there. And then the other thing that won't be making it is detailed stats. They're now aiming for this to come January. Both of these things were kind of said to come by the end of the year. We're expecting them next update. Of course, we get the patch notes next week, I believe. So we would have found out then. They're kind of softening the blow here. But they do have kind of two positive bits of information. One, we're going to get detailed stat pages for each ship, which I am very excited about. It'll be interesting to go through and see that. And then legendary modifications were also something that might have come by the end of the year. They're being moved to January 2023. And the thing that I'm kind of most excited about now is National Plus voiceover. So it'll be a setting that allows you to have the national dialogues, but also if you have any premium commanders, hear their voiceovers too. So it'll be a nice kind of combination of those two, which I am excited for personally. And I think the real question is, does it matter that all of this is delayed? Right? I don't know about you, but to me it has felt sort of empty in this game lately. It definitely feels like the player pop has dropped a considerable amount. I don't have the access to the numbers to say one way or another, but the amount of times I'm getting long queue times, especially in the upper tiers, it's been growing more and more and more. And when there's big events on, when there's things that like a lot of people are watching, or like a lot of people would be busy, like Thanksgiving or things like that, it feels like the queues are even longer, which makes me worried for the game's health. And I don't know if I need to be worried quite yet. Traditionally, I feel like we are in that window of time where when I wasn't a CC, when I was just a casual player of this game, I sort of dropped the game. This is the time window where I would go and play with the shiny new toys, right? There are a ton of games going on. Like, personally for me, right now, I am not only playing this game, but I'm sucked in by Modern Warfare. I've been loving playing that. I'm halfway through God of War, and I want to get through that because guess what? Callisto Protocol comes out this Friday, and I've told myself I'm not buying Callisto Protocol until I finish God of War, because that's already another single-player game I want to play. On top of that, Pokemon just came out. Me and my fiance have been playing through that. We played that all through the Thanksgiving break on our road trip up to South Carolina, where I spent Thanksgiving. Like, there's that. I've been getting into GT7 on a driving rig. Like, there are so many games right now vying, especially for, I'm going to call them the casuals' attention span, that this game, I feel like, is going to fall by the wayside. And does that mean that all these things being pushed back is a bad thing for the game health? I don't think so. I don't think necessarily it is, just because as long as it comes once those players are re-engaged, I think it will be for the better, if that makes sense. Like I said, this time period is when I would usually not be playing this game anymore. I'd be off playing other things, and I'd come back to this in probably about February. And I think if they can get all of these things in that February-March update window, I think it has a good chance of bringing some new players or returning players back to the game. Or, I could just be dead wrong, and, we're coming on, 4 years on this game, and people are starting to get old of it. That could be thing, and I could be totally wrong. But anyways, guys, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.